Currently features the Cookie Dip, Badass Bakes, Hair Concoction, Higher Education Accreditation Consulting, LACC Radiology Technology Department, and Malik Books. Your business deserves to be heard. Let KBLA Talk 1580 amplify your voice and connect you with our powerful community of listeners. Email smb@kbla1580.com today. That's smb@kbla1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
You ready?
It's the queen of royal badness.
It's time for the Raw Report with Robin Ayers.
Highlighting people and things you should know about.
Robin's got you covered. Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Robin's got a lot to talk about.
Something for my godson Elijah and a little girl named Corinne. Some say the blacker the better, the sweeter the juice. I say the darker the flesh and the deeper the roots. I give a holler to my sisters on welfare. Tupac kids, if don't nobody else care. And I know they like to beat you down a lot. And when you come around the block, brothers clown a lot. But please don't cry, dry your eyes, never let up. Forgive, but don't forget, girl, keep your head up. And when he tells you you ain't nothing, don't believe him. And if you can't learn to love you, you should leave him. Cause sister, you don't need him. And I ain't trying to gas you up, I just call him how I see. You know what makes me unhappy? That when brothers make babies and leave a young mother to be a pastor. And since we all came from a woman, got our name from a woman, and I came from a woman. I wonder why we take from our women, why we rape our women, do we hate our women? I think it's time to kill for our women, time to heal our women, be real to our women. And if we don't, we'll have a race of babies that will hate the ladies that make the babies. And since a man can't make one, he has no right to tell a woman when and where to create one. So will the real men get up? I know you're fed up, ladies, but keep your head up.
You are listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580, where we bring you the latest in entertainment news, trending topics, and interviews. I am your host, Robin Ayers, with you all Monday through Friday. It's Wednesday. We are almost there where you can just take a breath, kick your feet up, at least for a couple more days. I think we all need it after yesterday. Some of us more than others. Others are, not necessarily feeling like they are needing that breath or two, but I want to check on you guys. I want to check on you, see how you are feeling post-election day. Yesterday was just one of those days. As you all know, I was not in this chair yesterday. We were, our colleagues, Tavis Smiley, Dominique DePrima, along with Dr. Nee Corte, others, a ton of other people who called in. They all discussed the election and kept us abreast on what was happening. And it was actually really good to get the perspective of us, right? Our people. It was tough. Yesterday was just a long, long day. But I want to know how you are feeling about it. How are you feeling today? You guys are voting right now inside of our YouTube chat. If you have an opportunity, if you are watching this on YouTube, go over there and vote, because I would like to get a feeling to see, how you guys are doing. The options are hopeless. If you are feeling hopeless, a lot of people, trust me when I say I have been really, really tuned in to what people are thinking, what they're saying on social media, of course. Are you feeling hopeful? Are you feeling hopeful? And that does not mean necessarily that you voted for Donald Trump. It just could mean that, you know what, regardless of the votes, regardless of it, some people are saying Jesus is on the throne. Okay, it doesn't matter who is in the office. Jesus is on the throne. So maybe you are still hopeful. Other people could be ambivalent about it. Tell me where you fall on this. This is one of those type of days, you guys. It's one of those days where you can feel free to chime in, call in. You can call us on our lines. You could talk on the radio, 1-800-920-1580. You can also use our open mic feature. I know I've listened to several people call in just today, and they're all giving their thoughts on what they thought. and what they're thinking right now, what they're feeling. So you guys can feel free to use that open mic feature that's on our app, our KBLA 1580 app. Oh, okay. Forrest Harrison, he says, I can't lie. I was extremely deflated last night and this morning. Yeah, I hear that. A lot of people feel the same way. He says, DJ Black 909, you're right. Life goes on. DJ Black 909 says, weeping endures for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Come on and preach. Somebody preach. Now that election is over, it's time for Black people to unite, specifically those who want to get on code and build. TrueLib 99 says ecstatic should be an option. Okay. Well, I'll file that under hopeful. So, you must be hopeful about the future. And I'm glad for you. Morris Phillips says, I think it's safe to say that I'm out of touch with the rest of the country. Let's go ahead and jump straight into getting our contributor who is on the line with us. He is joining us from his show, the Chris Gunther Show. Please welcome Chris Gunther to the Rob Report. Hello to you, Chris.
Yo, big sis, what's going on with you?
I am doing wonderful. Given the day, the circumstances. I think also let me include this. A lot of people stayed up very late. I stayed up very late. I'm kind of tired today. Didn't really get a nap in today. So not only was yesterday and the emotions and all of that of yesterday just taking a toll, but for many people who stayed up pretty late to see these results, I'm feeling pretty good in spite of. So let me ask you, Chris, how are you feeling post-election day?
Let me first start off by saying, no matter the occasion, it's always good to be on the Raw Report. Let me put that out there.
Thank you.
Always want to give you all your flowers, all your love. And it just feels so great. Now, Robin, you know your boy. And I cannot sugarcoat anything, so I just got to come out here and say, how am I feeling? I'm not surprised at all. Mm-hmm. I'm not surprised at what happened. And I really don't want to sound insensitive because God knows I love Black women. I love women, period. But Black women, have a special place in my heart. They really, really do. Mm. And it sucks to see how a Black woman can be qualified, more than qualified, and still get turned down by the white man. Mm. Now, I am not surprised at this outcome simply because this is America. And as much as I would have loved to have seen her win, the reality is I knew it was not going to happen because America has never really wanted us in charge. We saw all the stuff they put President Obama through. And we saw how this man was for everybody. He tried his best to get things pushed that really did accommodate the American people. Yet we saw all the foolishness that happened to him. Fast forward, we go from a graceful man to the seat of Chucky as the leader of the free world. Mm. And now here comes a woman that is standing up and trying to make sure that the next generation is set up. But America did not want to see another one of us in charge, especially a woman. Mm. It's frustrating, but it's not surprising. Because if you know your history, there is nothing new under the sun. And unfortunately, some people were very delusional to think that, we've made steps forward. Have we really? Think about it. We have been the ones that have always had to be very optimistic, that have always had to keep hope alive. And I'm glad that there is hope. But let's not lose sight of the real issue that matter. The real issue at stake is the fact that we have a rapist, a racist, a convicted felon now as the president, soon to be president again of the United States. And it's jacked up because I felt the pain of a lot of women today. My heart broke for him. It really, really did. Mm. Just because I see how hard all of the women work, especially people such as yourself, my wife, my mom, etc. And my heart breaks. But I would be lying to you if I said I'm surprised at the outcome because America has never treated our black women fairly.
Well, you are not alone, and thank you for your powerful and encouraging words of support. You always are, so I appreciate that. Vanity Fair puts out their cover of Trump on the front cover, and it's plain and it's simple. On the side of it says 34 felony counts, 1 conviction, 2 cases pending, 2 impeachments, 6 bankruptcies, 4 more years, the 47th American president. Wow. Well, when we come forward, I'm going to read off you guys' I'll continue to keep tapped in with you guys to see how you're feeling. Read some of your comments. On the other side, I also want to, because you touched on something. They don't want to see us in charge. They don't want to see certain things. There's a powerful clip that is circulating on social media that we will play, and it may sum up some of what a lot of people are thinking. The ones who did not vote for Kamala Harris. We'll get to that. Of course, we have some other topics, as you see. We're going to talk about Halle Bailey and parental rights, the equal parental rights. Is that even a thing? We'll break it down and talk about it on the other side. You are listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Lecrae, and I'm hanging out with Robin Ayers.
You're inside The Rob Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
So the thing no one tells you about periods is that your flow changes every day, and so should your tampon size. Tampax has 5 absorbencies to match your changing flow. If it's uncomfortable to remove, go down a size. If it leaks, go up a size. And only Tampax has a leak guard braid to help give you up to 100% leak and odor-free protection. All-day comfort and protection for up to 8 hours for under $5 a month. Based on average U.S. consumer usage at manufacturer's suggested price, however, pricing is at the sole discretion of the retailer, excludes 8-count packs.
Mommy, want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with DayQuil VapoCool. It's DayQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is DayQuil VapoCool.
DayQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside The Rob Report.
With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
We are having a conversation about our post-election feelings. As we all know, yesterday and last night we watched and officially this morning, Donald Trump win the election yesterday, and Kamala Harris she officially concedes today. That happened, and she gave a speech at Howard University as well. We have our contributor who is on the line with us, Chris Gunther, and on the other side, Chris, you gave your thoughts on this entire process and how you are not surprised. Adding to that, before we get to this clip, I really want you guys to hear this clip because I think it is powerful. It actually blew me away. It's you'll know what I'm talking about when you hear it. But there is a text message going around to all kinds of people today. And I don't know who's behind it. Maybe they will be able to find out who this person is or who's responsible for this. But the text message says, "Greetings. You have been selected to pick cotton at the nearest plantation. Be ready at 12 a.m. November 13 sharp with your belongings. Our executive slaves will come get you in a brown van. Be prepared to be searched down once you've entered the plantation. You are in Plantation Group B." That's happening. That's actually a real text message being sent around. So speaking of race having something to do with this, there is a clip that I think you guys will think is powerful as well. Before we get to this phone call, there's an Asian man, and he's sitting with a slightly older white man, and they are sitting at dinner where the Asian man asks him, "Why did you vote for Trump?" Let's take a listen to it.
How's it going?
Very well. Hey, how are you?
Nice to meet you. Thank you for meeting us, Mr. Taylor.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Europeans have probably, on a per capita basis, killed more than anybody else, but because they were technologically more advanced.
Where does gunpowder come from? It comes from China. It's just that Western civilization took things from people. And I think when you get to older civilizations, they become more benevolent. They don't hang on to things like genetics as much. They understand how experience changes you.
Base them on facts instead. That's essential.
But what I find interesting is you're so into facts and you're so into science, but then you supported Donald Trump, right?
Well, that's a whole different question. That's a whole different subject. Let's get back to...
But I want to know how it is you voted for Donald Trump when you're so into facts, because his entire campaign is not based in facts. It was all based in propaganda and emotion.
I voted for Donald Trump for one reason only. His policies, if implemented, would slow the dispossession of whites in the United States. If he were to deport all illegal immigrants, if he were to think very hard about letting in any Muslims, all of this would slow the rate at which whites are becoming a minority.
Why are you so worried about the white dispossession of America?
Because I want my people to survive. Is that so strange? We don't control China. We don't control any place where whites are not a majority. And if we become a minority, we will not control our own destiny anymore.
I grew up in this country as a minority, as the children of immigrants. I was their first child born in America. And while I didn't have much possession or didn't much control, I really enjoyed myself. And I think that if you ask a lot of Americans, they would say that I had a lot to offer this country. You know, according to you, I guess I would be perpetuating the dispossession of white America.
That is true. That is true.
Okay. He said it. And he had no qualms about saying it. He said it with his chest. And maybe, probably, a lot of other white people who voted feel that way. Let's go ahead and get to JW, who is on the line with us from South Central LA. Hello to you, JW.
Hey, how you doing? I'm busy multi-captain with the person ahead of me, whatever that video was, that was pretty much the talking points that I was going to comment on, as well as something that wasn't mentioned all since the conclusion that she lost the election, which is, what about the election deniers that control the votes, or I guess they're called, I forgot the word they use for the title, supervisors or commissioners, where they can make a determination where they can deny the vote or not. And Trump was in office a couple of years ago, since probably prior to January 6th, or at least the majority of them came into office after that, because they had a plan in place. And I believe it's a long-term goal and they're playing a long game, and this plan has already been in existence, and it's a slow moving tool. And that's why he's bragging and boasting, because he has the power and authority, because he has these billionaires and I would say corporations rich against the poor with what's his name, Elon Musk. And one thing that wasn't mentioned, thank you very much, and one thing that was not mentioned, what he has to do is either have technology to maybe delete the votes, just like if he can cozy up with Trump and not allow the satellite so you got to consider that.
Well, you know what? I appreciate you. I appreciate the comment, and thank you so much, JW.
Inside warning too. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I appreciate you. To JW's point, Chris, let's talk about this. There's something that's a little bit obvious to me online, and I want to know if it's obvious to you. There are entertainers right now. Lil Boosie is one of them, who is asking Donald Trump for a pardon for his federal case that's been ongoing. There are people, that are kind of popping out right now. Some people have always supported Donald Trump, and they've not wavered. But other people, I feel like there's a strategy here, and they're banking on Donald Trump to say, listen, with my lifestyle, if there's something that he can do to kind of help me out in the future, it's probably best to bank on staying buddying up to Donald Trump, similar to what JW was saying about Elon Musk. What do you think about that in that narrative? Do you think there's some truth to that some of these entertainers are just like, you know what, it's probably in my best interest to stay close to him and to support him? That's number one. But I also wanted to add, Ray J is another one that shocked me today. I saw him pop out in a MAGA hat standing with Amber Rose. And Ray J was recently questioning voting and how, learning how to vote and trying to figure out who to vote for, when his own mother, Sonia Norwood, put out a video endorsing Kamala Harris. That shocked me a little bit, but I guess I'm not surprised at the same time. Give me your thoughts, Chris. Do you feel like that's a strategy of some of these entertainers to stay close to him because he's done it in the past? He's pardoned people in the past. Give me your thoughts.
I'm not surprised by any of that, because celebrities love dollars over dignity. A lot of them are sellouts. A lot of them are straight up fools and jackasses. And it doesn't surprise me that jackasses make those kind of comments. And unfortunately, we live in a time where you can see somebody who is 1 billion% wrong. This man can start a riot on the U.S. Capitol. And you got black folks to be like, well, he gives me some money, so he ain't really doing me no harm. Did you not see what this idiot has done throughout his entire presidency and post comments that he has made after his presidency? But yet, well, if he could get me out of jail, or if he could get me a couple dollars, he good in my book. Now, you tell me in your mind, does that make any sense, particularly as a black person in this country, to sit up here and pretty much become an Uncle Tom? Just because you get some dollars, now all of a sudden somebody's good in your book? I'm sorry, yo, but the way I was raised, you ain't got enough money to buy me. And I'm going to just keep it real.
Yeah.
I don't know Ray J. I don't know Ray J at all, so I'm going to attempt to choose my wording carefully. But with him doing that, it doesn't surprise me. Because this is the same guy who did some foolishness with a particular individual and honestly has not made really good decisions in his life ever since. So you going to pop out here and wear that? I'm sorry, but it doesn't surprise me. Because at the end of the day, in the words of God rest her soul, Dr. Maya Angelou, the real you is going to come out. If someone shows you who they are, believe them.
Yeah, when it comes to some of these celebrities, I think, when it comes to Ray J, what I will say is this, because I do know him. He's made some interesting decisions in the past, and to your words, maybe even foolish. But he's also made some smart decisions. He's made really, really smart decisions when it comes to business. And so if I'm looking at it from his perspective, I do not agree. Let me just say, I do not agree with his choice in endorsing Trump, voting for Trump, standing with Trump. I do not agree with that. But if I had to look at it through his eyes or anybody else, that's this debate. At what point do you stop just looking out for you, and look out for your people, look out for your community, look out for women, knowing that you have you got, mothers and aunts and cousins and all of this. At what point do you do that and just stop looking out for your bottom line, which everybody is thinking they are going to win under Trump financially, and with the economy, this is what everybody is thinking. Let's hear from you, Andy.
America's a corporation. We know what Donald Trump represents. Looking at the results of the propositions out here in California, to me, was just indicative of the power structure that we have. I'm going to just keep it to California.
Okay.
The whole rent control, all that stuff, like not being passed, that just let me know that if you're a man or woman of means and have power and have control, those interests, people are going to follow that. And Trump represented that. If you're poor and broke, unfortunately, you really have no pull.
Yeah.
And I'm going to jump in here before we head to break, if I could. In the words of my man, in the words of my man, Malcolm X, the most disrespected person in America is a black woman. And you want to know what yesterday showed me? He made that quote years ago. But here we are in 2024, and guess who is still the most disrespected person in this world? It's a black woman. And we got black folks that will really sit up here and try and say, well, it's going to get better because I'm getting this money and all this other kind of stuff. He's going to be good for my pocket. Let me ask y'all a couple rhetorical questions here.
Well, hold on. You ask those questions when we come forward, sir. I appreciate you. Yeah, because you're on the roll. When we come forward, we'll talk more about this. I've still got to get to y'all comments as well. Right now, though, news, traffic, and sports. You are listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
What's up, people? It's your boy Harmony H. Money Samuels, and I'm here on The Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580. What's up?
More of The Raw Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 things you should know from BIN News. New York Governor Kathy Hochul and Attorney General Letitia James are vowing to protect the rights of New Yorkers now that Donald Trump is heading back to the White House. James, who was black, notes her office took nearly 100 legal actions against Trump before, including over tax caps and the Affordable Care Act, and they're ready for round 2. A judge is rejecting Eric R. Holder Jr.'s appeal of his conviction nearly 2 years after he went to trial for murdering Nipsey Hussle. A 3-justice panel from an appeals court in California issued a decision that upholds the judge's previous ruling. Tennessee Republicans are basking in the glow of victory. Marsha Blackburn was reelected to her Senate seat with a win over Gloria Johnson. Blackburn congratulated Donald Trump on his victory and said it's time to turn the page on the Biden-Harris administration. And Senator-elects Angela Alsobrooks of Maryland and Lisa Blunt Rochester of Delaware are making history. They'll be the first black women to serve in the Senate at the same time. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
Watch out in South LA, 110 northbound at Vernon Avenue. An accident ties up the middle lane. Apparently, this involves 2 vehicles and one of them overturned. So the middle lanes are blocked. You have a backup from Slauson Avenue. Big problem on the West 134 just before the Glendale Freeway. A 3-vehicle accident blocks the 3 right-hand lanes. You're backed up from Colorado Boulevard. 57 southbound before Orangethorpe. You have a stalled big rig in the middle lane.
The best kept secret in D1 college basketball is out with the CBU Lancers. Season tickets start at $99 with free parking and great seats at the Fowler Event Center right off the 91 freeway, Adams Street exit. Join the Lancer Nation and grab tickets now at CBUtickets.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
When Clippers owner Steve Ballmer was planning to unveil the Intuit-Dome this season, he had visions of Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, and Paul George as marquee attractions for his new arena. The Clippers have no idea when Leonard will be able to play. His right knee is still a problem. George will be in the Intuit-Dome tonight, but he'll be playing for the Philadelphia 76ers. George's departure in the summer as a free agent magnifies the absence of star power for the Clippers, a 3-4 team that has lost 4 of its first 5 home games. In the 5 seasons George was with the Clippers, he averaged 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 4.5 assists. The Clippers won't admit it, but but they really miss PG. With Leonard out indefinitely, the Clippers have had to rely on Harden. At 35, Harden is not the scoring machine he used to be. When Clippers fans see George tonight, they're going to wish he was still in a Clippers uniform. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you an entrepreneur looking to take your business to new heights? KBLA Talk 1580 is your partner in success. Every day, we celebrate and elevate Black-owned businesses across our community. Our KBLA SMB Marketplace currently features The Cookie Dip, Badass Bakes, Hair Concoction, Higher Education Accreditation Consulting, LACC Radiology Technology Department, and Malik Books. Your business deserves to be heard. Let KBLA Talk 1580 amplify your voice and connect you with our powerful community of listeners. Email smb@kbla1580.com today. That's smb@kbla1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your flag. If we're the ones disproportionately impacted by these climate catastrophes,
Why should we be silent?
turning up the volume all year long on the climate conversation for KBLA Talk 1580.
Tips to help improve basic steps for building a budget in 2024. Building a budget can help you achieve and reach your financial goals. With a budget, you can keep track of your spending, avoid and get out of debt, limit overspending, pay bills on time, and build solid savings habits. What's the best way to get started? Figure out how much to set aside for expenses, like rent, mortgage, bills, groceries, and entertainment. Understanding your past financial habits can help you make the proper adjustments for your budget. Adjusting to a budget can take time as you work to find the right balance, but keep working on it. For more financial health tips, visit chase.com or stop by a local branch. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase & Company.
Chevy Red Tag Radio 30, code GWMR0394000.
This season, Chevy brings classic pairings, cookies and milk, mistletoe and kisses, and your holiday plans and a new Chevy. Silverado 1500 gives you power and capability with 430 pound-feet of torque to haul your holiday tree. Equinox EV and the all-new Equinox offer award-winning quality and style to see you through the holiday season. See why Chevy makes everything better and brighter. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Keeping you informed about what's really going on.
Who's got next?
And what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Busting your fist against a stone wall. You're not using your brain. That's what the white man wants you to do. Look at you. What makes you ashamed of being black?
I even know how hard it is. Being a woman, a black woman at that. Shit. In this white man's world, sometimes we overlook the fact that we be riding hard now since we don't be knowing the pain we be causing. This white man's world. This white man's world.
You were listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Wow. Tupac all night long. Tupac all night long. Tupac was a prophet. He was a prophet. He said a lot of things in his songs that really apply today. I mean, you know, let me tell it. Yeah. I am, well, you know what? Before we move on to anything else, let's go ahead and get to this phone call from Fahima. Hello, T. Fahima.
Hey, Robin. Just very briefly, Donald Trump these people haven't been paying attention because he is on record. I just want to list a couple of things quick.
Sure.
He's on record to saying that he was going to nationalize stop and frisk, provide total immunity to police, execute drug dealers, and that's not to say that black people are drug dealers, but drug dealing is not a capital offense. And he also, the last week of his previous presidency, he executed 12 people, 5 of which were black. And we hadn't had executions in decades. So these people really weren't paying attention because this man has told them what he was going to do. And it's really very sad. It's really very sad. I'm going to be good. I'm fine, but I'm worried about the rest of the country, to be quite frank.
Yeah.
Because I've done what I needed to do, but I am worried about my sisters and my brothers.
When you say you've done what you needed to do you mind sharing what that is?
In terms of, I don't have to worry about anything financially. I'm good. But what I'm saying is that other people, our folks, just like Andy had mentioned, people voted against rent control in California. And you have poor and working class people that can't afford decent housing. Yeah, this is really, I mean, these folks have not been paying attention, and they think it's a joke, but it's not. This man has the ability to appoint judges that will shape, this country's history for decades to come.
Yeah. That's the concern. The concern is, this man alone is gonna cause so much damage for so many years to come that it's gonna take so long to undo the damage that he's getting ready to do. And then quite honestly, I just feel like a lot of these people and these celebrities and influencers, all these people who are speaking out, Waka Flocka was one of them, who does not vote, by the way, but he says his voice is bigger than his vote. Well, it's going to be a shame. And I'm not a vindictive person. I'm not a malicious person or anything like that. But sometimes I feel like sometimes you just have to see, because until it happens to you, and then you're in a position where, Trump has been very clear about giving police immunity and all that stuff. Like, wait till these things happen to you and your family. Wait till, all the decisions that are made are going to affect you and yours. Then they'll see, but by that time it will definitely be too late. Fahima, thank you so much for your call.
Real quick, Robin.
Yep.
And it's not even just the celebrities. There are paid people who have been online spreading misinformation to those people who don't read and don't check. Yeah. And the fact of the matter is he should have never been allowed to run, because if Obama had thought about half of the things this man had done, he would have been court-martialed.
Yeah.
And I'll land there.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's not just about, I want to be clear, it's not just about celebrities. I'm not saying that, but they have a lot of influence as well. It is everyone who voted for him.
I just want to say the news spreads disinformation as well, too. So I know a lot of people attack the internet. You can't trust everything that you see on the news. Absolutely. Let's take another phone call. We still have Chris Gunther on the line, and we'll get to you in a moment, Chris, but let's get to Morris from Inglewood, California. Hey, Morris.
Inglewood. Hey, check this out, Robin. Donald Trump, while he was the president, he cost our deficit $8 trillion. Now, I don't have a calculator with me, so I couldn't tell you what $8 trillion would pay for. But the next time a conservative asks you how we're going to pay for this, please remind them of Donald Trump. And also something that President Lyndon Johnson once said. He said, if you can convince the lowest white man that he is better than the highest black man, then he will allow you to pick his pocket. Translated meaning he don't care about his quality of life, health care, education, inflation, none of that. Just as long as he's better than the melanated. All right, y'all have a good one.
Wow, thank you so much. Right. Appreciate you in the call. Chris Gunther.
I'm here.
Chris. Even in times like this, Chris, you still have such optimism. Before we move on, Chris, I do want to say this. I'm gonna bring a little bit of joy to somebody right now. I don't know who it's gonna be, but somebody is gonna touch you. Andy, you wanted to jump in?
Yeah, I'm just like, it just sounds like all doom and gloom. You know what? Let's flip it, right? This is an opportunity. We know what we're up against now. Let's unify, let's organize, and let's make it crack. It's time.
It's
time to gatekeep, homie.
Yeah, we are gonna get back to that because we are seeing something we've never seen before. We've seen people galvanize like we've never seen before. So you are right about that. But before we get into that, because Andy brought up a great point about the flip side of the days. No more doom and gloom. Okay, I have tickets to give away for someone who is in Los Angeles. Join Leslie Odom Jr. as he returns to Walt Disney Concert Hall for a night of holiday hits on Sunday, December 1st, 2024. That's coming up. That's coming very soon, including selections from his release, The Christmas Album, which Broadway World says infuses love, joy, and merriment into the holiday season. Tony and Grammy Award-winning musician Leslie Odom Jr. is known for his portrayal of Aaron Burr in Hamilton and his moving performance as Sam Cooke in the 2020 film One Night in Miami earned him an Oscar nomination. So you guys, if you want a pair of tickets for December 1st, in a couple few weeks, and you want to go to Walt Disney Concert Hall to see Leslie Odom Jr. in his Christmas night, holiday night, go ahead and call Andy 1-800-920-1580. It's going to go to some lucky winner and you will get a pair of tickets for December 1st. So go ahead and call if you want to attend that night. Wow, you guys have really been writing a lot. I got away from the chat, Whoa. Okay. So right now it looks like 38% of you are ambivalent about, everything that's going to happen. But surprisingly, it's tied for hopeless and hopeful. Surprisingly, you guys are tied for that. Some of you feel hopeless. I know a lot that's been sort of this underlying feeling on Instagram and on other social media platforms. Chris, I'm sure you have seen as well. You have kept up with it. But there are some people who are feeling hopeful. And like I mentioned earlier, hopeful doesn't necessarily mean that, you voted for Donald Trump. And maybe you did. Maybe some people who are listening right now did vote for Donald Trump. Someone said earlier in the chat, they said ecstatic is not an option. They feel ecstatic. Okay, great. Let me know, how are you feeling currently? As Andy mentioned, this is a different time. It's a time where we know what we're dealing with. Sometimes they say the enemy you can see versus the one that you can't is the best one because you know what you're up against. And so we know what that is. And we also know that we have the power. We have seen Black women and we've seen Black men really show out in this election. And so we know how to galvanize. We've seen, all other races as well. This is not to keep them out of it, but we've seen people know how to get together and for a greater cause, something better. How are you feeling right now, Chris? Are you feeling hopeful? Are you a little ambivalent? How are you feeling about it all?
Honestly, I'm feeling the same way I felt this morning. Not surprised by anything. It sucks that, we as a people, particularly the Black women, still have to continue to get overlooked. And as much as, because when he first got elected, the first goal, I was a junior in college and all that good stuff. And I was doing my best to remain optimistic. I really was. I was doing my best to remain hopeful. And then it hit me. We're Black in America. It doesn't matter how hopeful we try to get with idiots who are in charge. Usually, 100% of the time, it doesn't work out the best for us. And that's where I'm at with it. It's going to be something to see what happens next, especially in 2025 when this man has already stated what he wants to do. And at this point, nothing will surprise me. It's kind of like I was watching. I
get that you're not surprised, but I'm talking more so, the feelings behind it, that's a little bit different for me. Cause for me as a Black woman and somebody who, I won't say that I was completely vocal about it, but I didn't hold back either. I posted, about Kamala Harris. I posted, things about this election, of course. But me feeling a little bit hopeless, even as an optimist, as you know, I am an optimist. And so I tend I tend to look at things with a silver lining, and I will find a silver lining even in this election. Because similarly to how Fahima said, I feel like I'm more concerned for other people. I don't know. And this is not just talking financially or anything like that. I don't know. I have a different kind of disposition, although I know that all of his policies, everything that he's going to enforce is going to affect all of us. So I'm very clear about that. But I'm just talking about being a woman, a black woman too, and seeing the strides that were made. I feel a little bit hopeless, even as an optimist. So I'm asking you about your feelings. Are you still like, because I wouldn't call you necessarily an optimist, but are you feeling a little bit like, hopeless, hopeful in this situation? How are you feeling about it? That's the question, not necessarily if you're surprised about it. I get that. I don't think any of us are surprised. I don't think so. Well, but yeah.
I can 100% assure you I am not hopeful. I'm not hopeful about this at all, just because we've seen this movie before. It's kind of like, you're trusting somebody who is not a good individual. You're trying to trust them who is not good. You try to see the good in them, but they've shown you too many times their hand, and you keep going back to them. So I am not hopeful.
Okay.
I'm not even hopeless. At this point, I'm just here.
Okay. Andy?
I'm disappointed in that, Chris. I respect your disposition. I hope that that can be flipped, because it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I just feel like there's always this dependency on our government, on whatever level that may be. And where I'm at right now, I'm on my FUBU tip right now. For us, by us. It's probably going to be harder, right? But I'm willing to take that path, because I think that's going to give us the freedom, that's going to give us the power that we've been fighting for so long. We're dependent on somebody else, another group of folks, to provide us with that power. And I think we need to stop that mentality. Let's get back to grinding. Let's get back to organizing. Let's gatekeep if need be. And I guarantee you things will be better, even in the midst of chaos.
Chris?
I would love to see that happen, Andy, and by no means am I disagreeing with what you said, because, I'm a person that's going to get it by any means. I'm not waiting around for the seat of Chucky to help me out. But what I will say is it's going to be hard for me to believe that we can really come together, especially, don't get me wrong, we've done instances in the past where, we actually look great and we look unified, but then something else came up, and then we all ended up going back our separate ways. I just feel like this is another time where, we're going to talk about it, and then everybody's going to go their separate ways. I really hope not. I really, really hope not, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
Andy?
COINTELPRO, deep.
Thomas Outlaw says, one of the absolutely draining things about yesterday's results is my wife voicing fear for what's next and my inability to soothe her pain.
Man, that's painful.
That hits right there.
It really does. And I was on a conversation with somebody earlier today, and I just felt their pain. And it's like, man, I wish there was something I could do to really stop that. And it's one of those things where sometimes you don't even have the right words to say because of just how damaging the situation is. And it's one of those things where you just try to comfort as much as you know how, by still doing your part.
Okay.
By still letting them. Oh, I'm sorry, because I think we got to go to break.
Chris, Andy.
I'm just saying.
Andy, quickly, Andy.
I'll pose this last question. I saw this online today. If Biden did not step down, would Biden have won? Considering Trump beat Hillary in 2016, faced off against another woman in 2024, because we know patriarchy, we know misogyny. Strategically, if the Democrats decided to keep Biden, would Biden have won? I'm just curious.
When we come forward, I'm still reading these comments, and I'm still looking at your votes. I'm kind of surprised by this. We'll talk about it more on the other side. You are listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Check this out. This your boy Warren G, and I'm on the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580. You better ask somebody. You got to do it.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
If you're an adult in need of an accredited high school diploma, the Los Angeles Public Library can help. You can earn one for free in as few as 5 months online with 24/7 access. You also get a personal academic coach plus special training focused on 9 in-demand industries, as well as a resume and cover letter to advance your career. Visit the website at lapl.org/diploma. That's lapl.org/diploma.
With reported hate crimes rising in recent years, California has responded through outreach efforts across state government and in collaboration with community-based organizations for the launch of CA versus Hate. This non-emergency, multilingual hate crime and incident reporting hotline provides an anonymous reporting option for victims and witnesses of hate acts reported in 15 different languages through the online portal and in over 200 languages when calling the hotline. Report anonymously by calling 833-866-4283. Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. or online at any time at cavshate.org.
Add confidence to every holiday adventure and get it done with a rugged and capable Chevy truck or SUV. Find your red tag. Get 0% APR financing for 36 months on select popular Chevy models when you finance with GM Financial. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Offer available on all 2025 Equinox and 2024 Silverado, Equinox EV, Blazer EV, and Silverado EV models. Monthly payment is $2,860 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 22.2%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 12/2/24.
Asthma Peak Week is almost here, September 15th through 21st, and it's time to pay attention. Peak Week is a critical time of the year for asthma flare-ups and can lead to hospitalization. Did you know that Black Americans are approximately 5 times more likely than white Americans to be hospitalized for asthma? Stay aware, have a plan, and spread the word on Asthma Peak Week. For more active asthma care tips, visit luma-edu.com. This message is brought to you by Amgen and AstraZeneca.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside the Raw Report.
With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Now, people talked about this beforehand, before the election. There was a ton of talk around leaving the U.S. Would you leave? A lot of people are asking and talking and seeing if that's a viable option for them. Would you leave? That is a question over in the in the poll for you to vote on. People have discussed leaving the U.S. with these results. Would you consider leaving right now? I'm letting you guys vote, but, you know, it's looking like it's a no. But I'm curious. Some people are. They say if they had the means. There are other people with wealthy people who are considering doing that and actually have made major steps. According to some reports, if you guys are following me on Instagram, you can see that right now. There are articles on. You can look at it in my stories. There are articles about wealthy people leaving the U.S. But if you had the means, would you leave? Would you leave? Or is it just simply not that serious? And would you stay here and stick it out under these conditions and say, yo, I got 4 more years in me. Maybe we could get Kamala back. I mean, what are you thinking, Chris? Is that an option? Would that be an option for you?
Not at all. I am not leaving. Nope. I'm staying here because I don't want to deal with all this other foolishness across the world, okay? If I'm going to get caught up in something, I would much rather get caught up in my home. So, no, I am not leaving, plain and simple.
Andy, would you leave? I know Zoe Williams says he's staying right here. Yeah, this is home.
You know, the grass ain't always greener on the other side, so I'll leave it at that.
So you stay with the place that you know.
I mean, I'm stay with the place that I know, but if I had resources and a plan B elsewhere, I wouldn't mind making a move.
Yeah, that's the question. More so, if you had the means to do it, you would.
But I wouldn't be quick just because it's tragic here in America. I mean,
okay,
Okay.
Well, I mean, I think it's fair. I think it's fair. Right now, 59% of you say no. 41% of you say yes, though. 41% is still quite a bit. Chris, what happens from here? I mean, obviously, we got to get through this. We have to wipe some tears and hug a few people and, make some people feel better. Are there ways in which you can foresee us needing to prepare? I wish I still had Fahima on the line to tell us, how she says she's prepared. She's good, and probably financially. But are there other ways in which you can see people can prepare for what's to come?
I can see us making sure that we get involved in our local cities doing what we need to do to see a change. And I could really see us making sure that our voices are heard in all of the other little aspects of life, because doing stuff locally will start to help you. Because at the end of the day, we're not the president, thank God. We got to do our part in our hometown.
Yeah. Amen and amen. Pretty Brown Mimi says, I'll continue to vacation, of course, but I'm not leaving the United States permanently. This is my home. I think that's how most of us feel. But I ain't gonna front. There's some beautiful places out there. But I, too, feel like that. I mean, it's hard for me to leave the state of California, let alone the country. So I definitely understand. Chris Gunther, thank you so much for joining us today. Where can everyone keep up with you online?
You can keep up with me at Chris Gunther on all social media, my YouTube channel, The Chris Gunther Show, and my website, thechrisgunthershow.com. Until next time, I'm going to quote my big sis. Remember, today and every day, be a blessing. God bless.
Thank you very much, Chris Gunther. Rob Tyler online says, he probably said it best. He says, post Biden, I feel great. My life ain't residing in Trump or Biden or any man. I heard that, Mr. Rob Tyler. Well, that's the show for today. We didn't get to Halle Bailey. We'll save that another time. I think this conversation needed to happen. Most of you guys right now, 55% of you say you are not going anywhere. You will not leave the United States. I'm not mad at you. Well, listen, you guys, it's been a great show. Perk up. My name is Robin Ayers. Remember, today and every single day forward, to be a blessing.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 things you should know from BIN News. Our election coverage continues. NBC News reports President Biden has called Trump to ensure his commitment related to a smooth transition and invited him to the White House. Biden will address the nation about the election results sometime on Thursday. Wall Street is closing with stocks sharply higher. This comes after Donald Trump is now president.